Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time for the wait, you're telling me this is the first time we're talking about what we've watched this spring? Oh my god, it is. Holy shit. We're actually talking about what's happening in the spring. We're like 4 weeks in. I'm Guru. He's Chewy. How are you doing today?
All right. How are you today?
You know, I woke up. I work later tonight.
I thought it's only been like 3 weeks or so.
Well, the fourth episodes have started for some of them. But before we get into, like, you know, what's happening, I just want to talk about, like, some of the news. Like, Shaman King is getting a sequel.
Oh, the remake.
Yes. The Shaman King remake ended on Tuesday. And it has been announced that a sequel has been greenlit. And it looks like they've all grown up. Because if you look at the preview image here, I'll just send it to you. Where are you? There you go.
Actually gonna.
If you look at the preview image, right? If you scroll down on that article, it looks like they've all aged like a lot. Now, granted, I haven't watched this series, so I don't know. Like,
oh wow, okay, yeah, they've aged.
Yeah. But it is interesting to see that Shaman King is getting a sequel, right?
Yeah.
It must mean that the remake did well. I mean, were you watching it?
I was watching an okay amount of it, but I don't know if it was. I didn't get to the very end area. So.
Now, one thing I wanted to point out, just because of the studio, right? You remember Studio Bind, the guys who were doing Mushoku Tensei, right? They were literally created to do the Mushoku Tensei anime, and they'll be doing season 2 when it airs too, right?
Okay, yeah.
They got another anime to bide their time with.
Oh.
And
Okay.
It's Onimai, I'm now your sister.
Onimai, I'm now your sister. Oh, the gender bending one.
Yeah. Mahiro Oyama was just a normal erotic game-loving dude until he woke up one morning turning as a woman. Turns out his mad scientist little sister, Mihari, tried out one of her new experiments on him with a disastrous outcome. As far as Mihiro's concerned, but Mihari's determined to study him, and, well, yeah, it looks fun, but to go from Mushoku Tensei to this just feels a bit weird.
Now they did a second season of Build Divide.
That's Studio Bind's next project. And in terms of other episode anime announced, I mean, there wasn't much new ones. Of course, there was the second season of Trapped in Another World with my smartphone. Speaking of, there was a second season of The Fruit of Evolution announced.
Wow, I can't believe that actually got a second season.
You know what I can't believe is getting a second season? Masamune-kun's Revenge.
Yeah.
It was announced April 1st in America, April 2nd in Japan, and yeah, no, it's actually happening.
They finished that.
Like, the first season was all right. It's hard to remember since it's been so long.
Literally, it's a fat guy trying to get a revenge on a girl who made fun of him when he was younger, and then realizes that she also has an eating disorder or something like that.
Like, it's not bad, but like it's been so long. I may have to rewatch the first season. But what I wanted to use a little bit of time, I want to talk about Bleach. Because we all know that Bleach's final season is coming, right?
The new one, yeah.
Yeah, in the fall. It animates the only arc that the original Bleach never aired. And I know what's happening, right? And it looks pretty cool. They introduce an interesting new villain, right? And I reviewed all of Bleach over the past couple months. Oh my god. That was one of the most miserable fucking watches I have ever had in my life.
You had an interesting time, didn't you?
Like, the first 2 seasons are great. The introduction to Bleach, that first arc where Rukia is, like, sent into the human world is great, right? And then Soul Society, it's awesome. Like, the thing about Soul Society, it had amazing emotional storytelling, right? Every single episode, you felt just the raw emotion from the fights to the moments, right? And then to have Aizen, and I don't care about spoilers, Bleach is almost 20 years old. And then to have Aizen do what he did at the end, like, that was just the cherry on top. And then it all fell apart so fucking quickly, it wasn't even funny.
All according to Kikaku.
Like, even you know this. The Hoike Mundo arc and everything after that is essentially Soul Society.
Yeah.
And
all
it's just
according
repeated.
to Kikaku, though.
And the one thing you notice when you look at it is, like, the Soul Society fights weren't good because of the fights. They were good because of the emotion.
Oops.
Because you notice, even in Soul Society, the fights just kind of end with a random power boost. Like, don't you notice that?
It's the plot armor.
Well, yeah, and it's really bad. But you could, in Soul Society, you could get around that because the emotion was great, right? You had a ton of emotion. You wanted to see them win. You were attached to it. The Kenpachi fight, right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
The Kenpachi fight is literally just a power boost that Ichigo gets. That's it. That is all it gets. But, like, it was awesome because it was building towards that perfectly, and you loved Kenpachi. Like, Kenpachi's my favorite character in the whole series. And then even against Rurika's brother, Byakuya. Alright? Again, it's just a power boost. But you felt satisfaction because that power boost led to Byakuya realizing, hey, maybe I should stop being a piece of shit. Right? And, like, again, it's just really, really well written. And I absolutely adored it. Like, again, I'll say it again. Bleach, first arc and second arc is great.
Yeah.
And then the Hoiko Mundo arc is honestly a piece of shit. Like, honestly, I think Hoiko Mundo is awful. Because it repeats all the hits of Soul Society. Ichigo's friend gets kidnapped. They fight nameless minor villains at the start. They're separated at the ending. When the power of, like, the Arrancar is revealed, it's Chad who gets defeated.
Okay.
That's the same thing in the Soul Society. When the power of the captains is revealed, it's Chad who gets defeated. Right?
Okay.
Like, it just continuously repeats things, and it has no emotion because you don't feel connected to any of the villains. Like, if you look at the Espada, right? There's 8 Espada.
Okay.
And they are similar to the Gotai 13. The only difference is, well, there's 13 of them. If you ask me the quirks of the Espada, I can say angry psychopath. I don't even know. I don't even remember the first, to be honest. Bragan. Okay, Bragan was interesting, but they only showed his interesting moment literally the second he was dead. Nelly. Oh yeah, Nelly. Nell. Talk about another thing where a random companion of his turns out to be a busty, sexy woman.
Dang.
Let's see. Tyr. That was the blonde girl. Yeah, there wasn't much about her. She was attached to people that were killed. Yeah. Uliquor, the guy who was with Orihime most of the time, was actually interesting. Grimjaw wasn't bad, but other than that, there wasn't much of anything. And I think the most frustrating thing about Bleach, especially in the Hoike Mundo arc, is you saw that Kubo could write good stuff, right? Like every now and then we saw this emotional storytelling, this great thing, and then it was just gone. Or the fight was ended with a random power boost.
Okay.
And then he creates good fights, right? So like I just couldn't understand why everything just felt like just bad. And I think the worst part about Bleach is how that arc ends. Because Aizen points out Ichigo really didn't hate him.
Okay.
Like, you look at Ichigo, he was fighting to save Orihime. Well, he did. I mean, like, there was no reason for him to fight Aizen, and Aizen knew it. That took away even more emotion. And it isn't just Bleach that does this. A lot of anime and manga do this. They made Aizen so powerful, it took a ridiculous power boost from Ichigo to beat him.
Okay.
Like, it's a frustrating aspect. And honestly, while I am interested in the Bleach final season and will watch it, I have lost all hype for it.
If I remember correctly, it was just basically Ichigo having the craziest plot armor and then being like, oh, I'm half... what is it? Hollow. And then it's like, oh, no. I'm also part Quincy. And it's like, oh, no, part human and part something else on top of that. Whoa!
You, like, the final power boost. Like, I'll just say the final power boost against Aizen, right? Mm-hmm. His father literally beats the shit out of him, locks him in a zone with his, like, sword and his hollow self, and they come to accept each other, essentially.
Yeah.
And then Ichigo becomes so powerful, he throws away his Soul Reaper powers. Mm-hmm. Like, he has no Soul Reaper powers. He gave him all up just to make himself this godly thing. And he beats Aizen without even trying. And it's just like, yay, there goes all the emotional storytelling we had here, folks. And, like, I'm interested in the final season of Bleach this fall, but I also just look at it and just say to myself, I don't expect much at this point.
Pee-pee poo-poo time, let's go!
Yeah, but let's talk about the spring, because a lot of stuff have aired.
Yeah!
And I am going to...
Where the fuck is Mel?
Well, no, I'm actually just going to hit with, like, I'm going to look at the list I hit, say the name... You're going to say if you watch it or not, and we're going to talk about it, okay?
Okay.
So the first anime is Black Rock Shooter.
No.
I have watched it. I have no idea why I'm continuing watching it.
Is this a sequel of the other Black Rock Shooter?
It's not a sequel, it's a different adaptation.
Oh, right. Yeah, right. We talked about this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I am watching it. I have no idea why I'm continuing watching it. It's bad. Like, the CG is awful in its own right. Mm-hmm. But then you notice, like, little animation errors. Like, I pointed out a little bit in my talk about last episode. They literally had the bikes phasing through rocks. Mm-hmm. Like, legit. When they were chasing Black Rock Empress, they had the bikes just going through the rocks.
Right.
They weren't even going around it. And it's just... It's bad. Add on bad CG for both the mechs and the humans. Sound effects aren't there much at all.
Who did this one? Bill Burry? Biburi
Studio, and they have done the likes of Azure Lane and the Phantom Trigger movies.
Oh, they did quintessential quintuplets as well.
Yeah, they did quintessential quintuplets, which, again, like story-wise, quintessential quintuplets falls apart.
Animation was fine, no?
Yeah, so it's just I don't know why.
Maybe it's their
because
first
they're
time doing CGI?
Maybe, but they do have. I'm gonna pull it up. They do have a CG studio. For Burian, yeah, it is their first time doing CG.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, but yeah, no. So it isn't. Well, I want to look at the director. The director is Tanaka Koi. And it looks like he hasn't directed anything CG wise. No, he directed Azure Lane, and Azure Lane did have some CG.
Oh, there you go. Maybe.
But no, Blackrock Shooter. Its story is bad. Its animation is worse, and I have no idea why I'm still watching it.
I don't know.
Next up on my list is Ammonine Warrior at the Borderline.
Oh, a meme?
Yeah, Kyokai Senkai.
Oh, I haven't watched the sequel yet, so.
The first
or not
two
sequel, so
episodes have aired.
I did watch them.
They aren't good.
Oh, okay.
They aren't good. They are not good at all. Essentially what happens is, you know how in the end of first season that what is it? The main character, right? He was attacked, and like it looked like he died, right? And obviously they were gonna bring him back, right?
Mm-hmm.
They brought him back within the first episode.
Dang!
He shows up at the end of the first episode, and he's this emotionless man who has been mentally destroyed at that point.
Mentally destroyed.
And it's just like I am so tired of that.
Me already had no emotions as it is.
Well, no, his emotions sucked. Like
lack
the show,
of emotion.
Here's the thing. The show, the second episode ended with him brutally murdering one of the enemy commanders. Like he rips open his mech, takes his sword, and shoves it into him, right?
Yes.
It's meant to be like this emotional high point where the character is just like, he has killed someone brutally, right? And I'm just like, okay.
Not invested in that.
That's exactly it. There's no emotional investment in these characters.
You pretty much could have just gave them lack of anything, but you know, in the end, and it would still like not change.
The show really wants us to act and feel like, oh my god, he's gone insane, right?
As a result, I think they should have just gave him nothing. Should have just played it like a Kuroko almost.
I honestly just wish he stayed dead. Like that would have been a decent. At least you could work that death to Shion and Gashin trying to regain themselves, right?
Give an actual decent main character. Oh my god!
No, but no, they try to act like this is such an insane thing. What has he done? And I'm like, this is war. The guy the commander literally tried to use a Japanese person to start executing them, right? Him showing no mercy is just like that makes sense. But yeah, no, it hasn't been good, and I don't expect it to be better. Next was Ascendance of Bookworm.
Wow, no, I haven't actually watched that one yet neither. I need to go back and watch the first episode.
It has 2 episodes out. It airs every Monday, and it's really good. Like, I don't know why. I always feel like this show does not get enough recognition.
The Bookworm ones? Oh, yeah. Okay,
yeah. I don't know why. It feels like Ascendance of the Bookworm does not get enough recognition. I always feel like this feels like a show that sneaks under the radar of people, but it's really fucking good.
Oh,
the emotion here is
brilliant.
Really?
They've already done 2 seasons.
That was the one before she entered the temple, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
She entered the temple at the end of the, I think in
first season.
Yeah, at the end of the first season is when she entered the temple. The second season was introducing all the people who helped her and like the antagonist parts of the world. And it's really good. So the first 2 episodes focused on the Ink Guild trying to capture her.
Yeah.
And the fact that she should be adopted by a noble family.
Oh.
And of course, mine, who's like all about her family, is against that. And the one thing I really do like, I've always liked the head priest, Ferdinand. He is really, really good. Because the one thing I like is that he's willing to help Mine because he understands, yeah, Mine loves her family, and just him taking her out is just, it's not going to work, right? But he also realizes if Mine doesn't get in line, he has to kill her.
Gotta kill her.
Well, it's because Mine's the mana eating, right?
Yes.
We see it all the time. If Mine gets too stressed, she can kill people within an inch of her life, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's one of those things where the head priest is like, I will do my best to help you, but if you do not find a way to get better, I will kill you. Right? Like you can see that point in a sense, right? But no, other than that, this series it's just so good, and I love the visual art style. The vibrance of the color, the vibrance of the eyes. I really like good eyes in anime. But yeah, no, I think it's worth it to anybody. I think it's going to be one of the best shows of the season. And one thing I need to point out, why is every major female character in this show pregnant?
Gotta show them that they're gonna do crazy stuff.
It's weird because, like, in the first episode, 2 of the main female characters, Mine's mom and Otto's wife, are knocked up, and I'm just like, what's with this town?
Bopping butts.
Anyway, next on my list is Tomodachi Game.
Nope.
Have you? Okay, no. Let's time out. Have you watched anything?
Yeah.
Like, is there anything you've watched?
Yeah.
All right, give me an idea. We've talked about my stuff too much.
Spy Family,
Okay,
Tate no Yusha.
Okay, we'll wait till Spy Family at the end, because Spy Family is one of the last ones.
Skeleton Knight in Another World, Trapped in a Dating Sim, Ya Boy Koming, Love After World Domination, Aoashi, Daemon.
All right, well, let's do Tomodachi Game, then we'll have you talk about Daemon and Trapped in a Dating Sim.
Okay, I only watched the first couple episodes. I think there's 3 though. Daemon. I don't think I've watched them.
I think there's 3. Let me check. It's on Crunchyroll. Yes, there is 3.
Yeah,
this haven't even got a second one yet. But,
okay.
What I was about to say is, Tomodachi Game's good.
Yeah.
But it's one of those shows that I feel that it's laying it on too thick. From the start, the whole synopsis of Tomodachi Game is your friends may not be as nice as they actually are, right? And one of them's a traitor.
What?
And it's just, they have thrown it on so thick that it's just like a bit overwhelming, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
So, like, within the first episode, right, we get hinted that one of the 5 people here stole the 2 million yen. Then, in the second episode, we get hinted that one of the girls slept with a bunch of people because she needed money. The other's a jealous, vindictive bitch. The other used to date them, and then in the next episode, we find out that he's actually been stalking him the whole time.
Who's been stalking who?
Like, one of the guys has been stalking one of the girls the entire time.
Oh,
so
okay.
that's how he knows everything.
Okay.
And it's just slow down, right?
So many reveals.
It just feels like they're just throwing stuff one after another, after another, after another, after another, after another, and another, and it's just like, guys, let's take a moment to breathe.
All right, it's time. It's time, Marcel. We revealed so much. We got to get to more personal stuff.
Well,
one of them has a 3-inch penis.
You're so funny. But no, like, the thing is, they revealed the whole stuff about Yutori and how she slept around, right?
E.
And then at the end of the episode, they revealed that Tenji's been stalking Shiho, and that's how he knows everything.
Mm.
And then in the previous episode, they revealed that Shiho and Tenji used to date. Shiho likes Yuchi. Makoto's upset that Shiho likes Yuchi, and it's just like, breathe.
And
Like,
guess what? Guess what? Guess what? One of the ladies is actually a dude.
But like, I like it. I do. But I just feel that it's just going too fast. It needs a moment for us to be able to process the information.
Maybe she identifies as a man? No.
Who knows?
It's a man identifying as a woman.
Anyway, you talk about Deromo?
Damn. Oh, okay, sure, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think I talked about this last time, didn't I?
Well, it never aired.
Did we talk about it last time?
Talk about it.
Did we talk about the first episodes?
No.
Oh. I thought we had an episode where I talked about...
Yeah, and maybe there was like 2 first episodes, but like, you've watched more, right?
I never got to the second one. I was trying to watch the second one today.
Oh my god. Okay, what was that other show you mentioned then?
Still good though, Daemon.
I will say, Daemon does look good, and I do plan to watch it after the season.
Did I talk about... Oh, no, I did talk about Love After World Domination, too. Okay,
yeah, but there's more episodes, right?
That one I didn't... No, I didn't see.
Oh,
I don't think
God.
Let me see.
What about the Trapped in a Dating Isekai, right?
Oh, that was just... I don't want to talk too much about that one.
Well, please do, because it's one of the more polarizing animes.
I don't know. So I don't think I talked about this one at all the first time. But yeah, okay, so in this world, I guess it's... Did I mention? I'm not sure if I mentioned, but I guess it's really important to mention that the roles are very reversed in this one. Where gender roles in society, where the women are much more empowered and stuff like that, and couples want to have girls compared to boys, and it's always a matriarch type of society, and men are just whatever, and it's gone to the point where, like, if you're...
Reminds me of The World's End Harem, to be honest.
Oh, maybe, but like, there's a lot of women still.
Yeah, keep going.
It gets to the point where, like, there's people in high rankings that, like, have slaves or whatever that, do the everything because they're good looking and stuff like that, etc., etc. And the main character is thrown into like a... What is it? Sort of like a lesser noble family. And,
yeah, men are livestock that serve as stepping stones for the female world.
Yeah, and he's like the result of like a baroness having marrying into like his father, who's of royal blood. Well, not royal blood, but like noble blood, I believe. I forget if she's the royal noble and the dad's a noble. Either way.
Yeah, and the premise is that Leon uses his knowledge and raises a ferocious revolt against the women and handsome men.
Yeah, so basically this whole universe is based off the Toma game, which he's played for his sister, I believe, and where the sister was like, I want this, end scene and stuff, so I want you to play this. So he like plays a non-stop or whatever because she's got dirt on him, and then I think he dies somewhere after that. But he uses that knowledge to basically not live such a terrible life.
Why is there mechs?
Because part of the Tome game itself is there's strategic battling with mechs and airships and stuff against monsters and other mechs.
That's interesting. One thing I will point out is that like everybody is upset at this anime due to like the animation of the characters looking like they've came out of hentai.
I don't care.
But one thing that's interesting to point out is from Frog-kun. She said, judging by Amazon and Bookwalker sales, the biggest sales boost this season is this anime.
That's crazy.
It's insane. But yeah, so let's move on to the next anime. For me, that was I'm Quitting Heroine.
Oh, I think I read the manga of this one.
I don't hate this, but I also just wish it kind of is like, okay, guys, let's take that next step forward. All right. The characters aren't great. Our main character, Leo, is a pretentious asshole.
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't know. There's not much to say about this anime. Like, nothing has really happened.
Oh.
It has potential. I like the idea of Echidna, the demon queen, trying to take, like, win, but not turn demons into the brutes that everybody believes them are, right?
Okay, yeah.
But other than that, there's nothing. There's literally nothing here. And I'm just kind of curious when we're going to see, actually something.
Okay.
Like I mentioned in this week's talk about it, it feels like the show is just dragging its feet. It's done nothing that makes me want to root for the characters. Like it introduced this idea of Echidna being like a good ruler, but it's done nothing with that thus far. That's kind of my point with the show. Like I don't think it's bad, but it's not great. Up next is Rising of the Shield Hero 2.
Okay.
This is an interesting one.
Sorry, which one we're talking about now?
Rising of the Shield Hero 2.
Oh, okay. Yes.
It is very clear to me and others that the people behind us realize that this arc sucks and they want to get through it.
I mean, Spirit Tortoise arc is a little lackluster in comparison to the ones of the future and what we've been through. So
yeah, which I believe the next one they're going to is the one where they find out who woke up the Spirit Tortoise. And like, there's stuff in this season that I've liked thus far. I like the growth of Nafumi, how he pretty much stood up to all the kings and queens there.
Yeah, yo, I got a little bit of a bone to pick with the artist who the mangaka. Why there's
light novel?
Oh, whatever, light novel mangaka, whoever did the character designs.
Hey, why? What's up?
Why all the moms got to be hot? Or like, why they got to be MILFs, man? Why there's so many MILFs in this one, man?
I don't know. Anyway.
Why?
Like I've liked how Nafumi is standing up for himself more, right? That's interesting to me. I like Risha's story of her wanting to power up herself so she can
be of use.
And
eventually rejoin. Yeah.
Right?
Rejoin the bow here, yeah.
And I like the idea because, like, there's going to be a lot of interesting things with her. What I don't like is why does she need to be a slave? Like, we got
slave fetishes? This.
Well, no, we talked about this when it first aired, right?
Yeah.
The slavery aspect of Shield Hero is so rough at times.
There's a lot of waifus, man.
Well, it's not even that. Like I said before, if Shield Hero's slavery aspect stopped at him just, the
Raftalia?
village, right?
Oh, the villain.
Like, if it's
right, yeah.
stopped at the village, that's fine. At least it's a rootable story. It's not saying, oh, slavery is good if you use it this way. It's just a fictional story, right? When it gets to Raftalia, when it gets to Philo, when it gets to Risha, it's just like, why? Why is this needed?
Wait, wasn't Raftalia the first one, though?
Yeah. And Raftalia broke her slavery thing. She had it purposely put back in.
Oh, I totally forget what the reason was again, but I thought it was explained right when she put it back on.
Because she felt like attached to him.
Is that really it? I don't think that's...
there's no real reason.
Is that really it? Was that she just had that was what she felt was a connection to him?
Let's pull it up. Because it's been a little while, right? Chronology.
Because like Raftalia in the beginning, there was kind of not too much of a choice because, Shield Hero. I forget his name. Fuck.
Fumi.
No, Fumi had to go through pretty much everything he went through already, and he's not trusting people, and he needs somebody to be a sword.
Raftalia was the only person he trusted.
Well, not even. Like he kind of.
And it all started with, and Raftalia was freed after. Like she was freed. She was freed after Motsuyasu beat him in a fixed duel. But instead of leaving, she stuck with him. And it was built around a lie.
A lie.
Yeah, because remember, Motsuya was told that Naofumi was abusing her.
Oh.
And that she was forced to fight and abused to your break, and it's just like none of that was happening.
The first part might have been just using the slave crest to just give her, to make her do it. But in the end, didn't he give her a choice after? I don't remember, honestly. I don't know if we're just trying to make it seem better than it sounded at the very beginning, honestly. I feel like the very beginning of that part, the slavery part, was like, okay, this is probably the somewhat probably immoral or darker part of the series itself, but
literally, here it is right here. I just watched back. She literally wanted the slave crest back as a symbol of your faith in her. Here it is, okay. Right here.
Weird.
Right? Because again, remember, he bought her as a way to have somebody fight for her, right? Since he couldn't fight as the shield hero. And then, of course, they bond and he, gives her a decent life. Right?
Maybe.
So that's understandable. That part I can get, right? The part I can get. Why she needed the slave crest back makes no sense. And Philo being a slave makes no sense.
Because
Risha being a slave was the worst, though, and they tried to justify it. They tried to justify Risha being a slave by saying you can gain a power boost. That's it. And it's one of the things that hangs over this show like just a smelly fart. And then, of course, the pacing issue, which I can at least equate it to the studio wanting to get through this arc. Because everywhere I've read, people say this arc is bad to begin with. Yeah. So it's just I look at it as they're damned if they do, damned if they don't type thing, right? And then, of course, there's the CG. I sent you a picture of the turtle. It's the same people who did the CG for The World's Greatest Spy Is Already Dead. And you remember the car from that picture, from that anime?
The World Is Already Dead?
No, the Spy Is Already Dead.
Oh, the spy is already dead.
The spy is already... The detective is already dead, yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yes, no, yeah. Yeah, that's the one picture where the
car from that.
The car, and then the background, and then like even more of the foreground.
Yeah, and it's just like, yeah, this is yeah. Also, Joel Embiid, you want to sarcastically applaud the refs? Go fuck yourself.
Oh, having some
Raps
sports.
won game 4.
Yeah, I saw that.
But yeah, no, so like, it's not bad. Like, anybody who says this anime is bad is lying to their fucking teeth. It's just people. Can it be a disappointment? Yes.
Tate no Yusha?
Yeah. Let's move to Komi-san. Komi-san is amazing. Moving on.
Yeah, Komi-san's good.
I don't mean that as a bad thing. I just don't have anything to say about Komi-san that I haven't already said.
It's the same thing.
Skeleton Knight.
Improved. Second episode.
I watched 3 episodes. This is good.
Oh, I didn't watch the third episode yet.
The third episode just released. But like, this is good. Like the main character is very enjoyable. Like, I am enjoying watching his shenanigans. He reminds me a lot of Ainz.
Except he's not cold like Ainz because of Ainz' character.
Ainz' character is cold, but like there's this vibrant excitement with him.
Yeah, he's in another world. Got access to his skills, but then also all the other freaking other skills like an OP paladin. What the fuck? And then
like there's just, like, you've noticed through the first 2 episodes and in the third episodes, I really like the voice actor for him.
Well, yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, and it's Maeno Tomoaki who did Veldora.
Yeah.
And another big role. I want to find a main role. He does a lot of supporting roles. I want to find another main role. He did. You remember Naotsugu from Lock Horizon?
Yeah,
that's him.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh God, he was in Tesla Note.
He was also in Yoramushi Pedal.
Yeah, I saw that one, but it's supporting. Oh, I remember that guy.
Like, there's some good ones. Like, he's done a lot of good stuff. But like, I just love the exuberance in it. Everything is just filled with such joy. It really makes it fun to watch.
Yeah, the fact that he's in Sentence of a Bookworm too. But yeah, no. Yeah. I mean, the representation of Ark being completely excited being in the new world and stuff like that is really well done.
Yes, he's excited, but he's not unrealistic, right? He understands it's a new world. Like, remember, the first second he waked up, he's like, oh, wait, I'm a skeleton. I probably shouldn't show that to other people. And, like, they introduced this new character, an elf, and she's interesting.
Oh, he was Dino in Blend S.
Yeah, I like the reaction between Ark and the elf. It was fun, and it looks like the story's pushing forward as well. So yeah, no, honestly, I think Skeleton Knight is a surprise hit thus far.
Ooh. Oh, okay. I didn't realize who the voice actress was at first.
For the elf?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Iferos. That's hard to.
That must be a changed name, right?
I don't even know how to pronounce that last name, to be honest. Well, why? What's up?
No, I didn't realize, because wow, she's been in a lot of stuff. She's totally been rising
I mean,
lately. At least like new stuff.
She's in a lot of stuff this year, and she was the voice actress for Jolene from JoJo.
She's also the voice actor for Manjiro from Tokyo Revengers, Marcel.
Wait, what?
She's a voice actor for Sano Manjiro from Tokyo Revengers.
It must be for the younger version.
It must be because Hayashi Yu.
Yeah, they have Hayashi Yu credited for the older credited as well.
That must be younger, right?
Yeah, it has to be younger.
Or did they change voice actors in the middle? That's so weird.
No, because I said no, because they did have parts of the show where it showed the past.
Yeah, so she must have done. Okay, I was gonna say that's kind of crazy if she did that voice, because he was way deeper than what she's ranged or what all these other ranges have been.
All right, I'm going to move on to the next one now.
Oh, she's in Otoma game. She's Angelica from Otoma game. Oh, she's gonna be Delta from the. Oh, Eminence. Oh my God. Yeah, I can't wait. Eminence Shadow. No, Shadow of Eminence.
Are you okay?
Shadow of the Eminence. Come on, we're gonna get that.
I mean, that's in fall.
I can't wait.
Should be interesting. But next one for me is Dawn of the Witch. It is the sequel / like in the same world of
Zero.
Grimnar.
Yeah. Wait, what?
Yeah, Grimnar Zero.
Oh, okay. I thought you said Grimgar. I'm like, that what?
Don't even remind me of that show. It's okay. There's a world here that I could be liked. Like, I really do enjoy Holt's story of how she was a beast human that was pretty much forced into serving the church because her parents were assholes. And they're just introducing back into the show Yohei and Zero, so that should be interesting.
Oh, fuck. I think I read the manga for this one, actually. Oh, wow. Okay. Never mind.
Like, it's not bad. It's not bad, but it's not like it would stand out a lot more in the winter season.
Yeah.
So I'm going to move on from that. Do summertime rendering.
I did not watch summertime rendering yet.
Go watch it. It is fucking incredible already.
Okay.
It has this ReZero-esque feeling to it.
ReZero-esque feeling. Okay.
Well, essentially, it's the person dies, he repeats.
Oh.
And the world is compelling. Like, the first episode, it introduces you to a bit. You have this theory that if a person meets their shadow, which is another, like, just a doppelganger, the shadow will kill them.
Persona.
Yeah. There's a lot of Persona 3 references here.
Persona and SMT. Shin Megami Tensei.
But what happened? So the first episode ends on that with Mio's shadow killing both Mio and Shinpei, and then of course Shinpei teleporting back in time, right?
Yeah.
And then Shinpei in the second episode is doing everything he can to confirm the shadows, and he ends up doing that. And he ends up confirming the shadows exist. But he dies again. And the interesting thing is when he dies that time, he doesn't return to the first place he returned. He returns to just a point later.
Okay.
And as Namariu points out, this could suggest that Shinpei can't die all the time, like, say, ReZero's main character. And there's a lot of interesting things here. Like, we have this girl in glasses who was killed in the first episode and wasn't killed in the second, but she knows of the shadows, clearly. And we already see Shinpei trying to affect the world because Tetsuo, who is a police officer in the town, he dies in the first 2 episodes. The first one off screen, the second one is shown how he dies and a shadow replaces him, right? So Shinpei, knowing this, calls Tetsuo away to make sure he doesn't die.
Okay.
And it's just really compelling. There's a lot of really interesting stuff. And the fact that it's already confirmed to be 25 episodes is going to be great. The problem is Disney Plus could go fuck themselves. If you don't know, outside of Japan, the only way you can watch summertime rendering is through the Pirate Bay.
All right, Prey.
And essentially, this is pretty much this. They're doing the same thing that JoJo Netflix has done, and it's just not good. Like, look at JoJo Part 6. That's just a prime example. So hopefully this show doesn't die. It's got huge ratings on Mal right now. And Mal isn't the be all end all, but you always look at Mal to see like how things are doing. And it's got one of the higher scores of spring 2022. Like it, in terms of scores, it is only beat by Kaguya-sama, Komi, and that's it. Oh, and Spy X Family, but we'll get to that in a minute.
Spy X Family.
So, up next on my list is oh wait, it's beat by one more. Ya boy Konming.
Ya boy Konming.
How is this show so good? I just don't get it, Lucas. I just don't get it. Like, it's a batshit insane premise. Let's just take Zhuge Liang from like Three Kingdoms China and throw him in modern day Japan and have him like help this up and coming singer, right? And it just works.
Okay.
Like, I've watched the 4 episodes. How many episodes have you watched, right?
I've watched 4? Wait, there's 4?
Yeah, that's 4. There was one aired yesterday.
Oh, I didn't. Oh.
And essentially, like, every episode is him just, like,
I think I got up to
winning over Eiko with just the most random bullshit ever.
The third one was when she went to the festival, right?
Yeah, the festival and how he timed it so.
Yes. Okay, so I've got up to the third one then. I haven't watched
there was one last night.
Yeah, I didn't watch that.
Yeah, but the third episode of how he lied that the fucking lights were broken, knowing that he could all of a sudden turn the lights back on because the band on the other side wasn't going to sing their big hits because they had a concert the next day. And then the episode before where he used a strategy of like illusions and trickery to put a bunch of people in the room with Eiko. Like, it's just ridiculous. Every moment of this show is fucking ridiculous, and I love it.
A good blend, isn't it?
Oh, good. It's so good.
PA works.
And it's got a catchy theme song.
Which, by the way, again, is a Japanese cover of the Hungarian pop song.
Yeah, and it's good. And it's by 96 Neko.
Oh, yeah, she did the cover, yeah. And she's also the singing voice for Echo.
Yeah, that I do know.
I think she also did the cover at the ending, too.
That I want to know. But, like, it's a show. Covers. Like, I think it's safe to say this is a show that shouldn't work, and it just does. And one thing that I'm impressed by is, like, I feel that the staff knows it. Like, they know that this show shouldn't work. And they just run with it. They don't try to, like, hide from it. They embrace the insanity. Right? So it's just really good. Now, next up for me is The Legend of the Galactic Heroes, season part 3. I love this show, Chewie. I am so emotionally invested in this show, it isn't even funny. What are you laughing at?
I'm ready for it too.
Well, I mean, it's got 1, 2, 3. It's got 6 episodes out already since they dropped 3 episodes in the first week, and it's so good. Even without the battles, it is literally just brilliance in terms of character building, character motivation.
Wait, Spy X Family has 6 episodes already? What?
No, Legend of Galactic Heroes.
Oh, I thought for a second you said Spy X Family. I was like, what? Oh, but
Open
okay.
your ears. But like, it's just brilliant.
Okay.
I cannot recommend this more. And everybody will say, go watch the older version, right? No, fuck that. You want to watch the newer version? Go watch it. Like, the older version's from 1988.
I tried to watch the older versions to see if that one, and I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna watch the remake.
Like, look, I get it. The older version, it's special. It deserves its rating, right?
But it's old.
Let's be real here. Older anime become harder to watch as the years go on because animation does not age well.
It still is a good story, and just
Like, it's good. Like, I will not deny that the old version is good. But I am not going to watch it just because the animation has not aged well in the slightest. But no, I do recommend, like, Galactic Heroes. It is that fucking good. Virgin Road is next.
Oh.
This one is good. I do not think it's bad. But I also look at it and say to myself, it needs to do something to make me understand why you are killing all these people, right? So essentially the synopsis is the lost ones are wanderers who came here from a distant world of Japan. So many people have come to this world from Japan that literally it has adopted Japanese culture and the main language is Japanese. Now, the problem is they bring disaster and calamity, and it's shown. And here's the thing, it's shown to us, right? Like, we've seen, like, this is the Salt Sword, and if the Salt Sword was activated, it destroyed the world, right? And we saw that Menno's world was hometown was destroyed by a lost one.
Lost one.
But it's never told to us why they get to that point, right?
Oh.
Like, they try to show us at the start with Mitsuki, who's the first introduction of the lost one.
Okay.
Yeah. And you could see maybe, okay, he's being corrupted, right?
Sorry,
like the people who brought him in are evil and using him for evil deeds. The problem is with Akari, we don't see this.
Okay.
So, like, the show needs to explain to me better how these lost ones become what they are, right? Like, the show needs to make me believe that Akari could destroy the world.
There's some decent ratings on this one, though.
It's good. Like, it is good, and it is seemingly one of those unknown favorites, right?
Yeah.
But, like, the show needs to do a little more for me. I need to see why I should fear Akari getting out of hand. That's kind of it. But yeah, next up for me is Arhen's Son. It's good. Watch it. It's adorable. It avoids the cringe that I thought it would have had in episode 1. And I relate to Arhen's Son at a spiritual level. Science Fell in Love, so I tried to prove it. Season 2 is the exact same thing as season 1. It is cringy fun. Now we get to some of the good shit. Because, like, these next 5 anime that all air on Saturday
Okay.
Or the hype ones. Kaguya-sama Season 3.
Oh.
So good. And there isn't much to talk about that we haven't talked about with Kaguya-sama, right? So what I will point out is Kaguya-sama's character depth is shockingly amazing.
I'm sorry.
What the fuck was that?
That's me coughing.
But yeah, so Kaguya-sama, its character depth is brilliant. Because the one thing was with last week's episode, Hayasaka tried to get the president to sleep with her to win her over, right? And of course, Kaguya never going to be happy with that. And the one thing I liked is how at the end of the episode, Kaguya and Hayasaka have a talk. And it pretty much goes back with the idea of we are the ones who understand each other the most. Right? And she says that no one in the world knows how twisted you are. And Hayasaka, of course, replies, no one, same thing to you. And they go like, that's why we're essentially sisters. And it's just like those little things combined with just, the gut-busting comedy. The arm wrestling part was hilarious. Is what makes Kaguya-sama so good.
Okay.
Do you got anything?
I realized I actually did watch a second episode of Love After World Domination. But keep going.
Date Alive Season 4 is awesome.
I remember watching a bit of that in the first season. But I don't remember anything else after that. All I remember is the guy's supposed to be dating spirits or something or whatever to calm them down.
Yeah, essentially just seal their powers. Look, I'm going to be honest here. Date Alive Seasons 2 and Season 1, they're good, entertaining, fun. Nothing. Nothing extraordinary, right? Date Alive Season 3, while its animation was bad at times, I thought story-wise it was amazing. And it seems that the story-wise is going to continue. It seems that story-wise it's going to continue. Because the first story is hilarious. Essentially, the spirit he meets is a spirit that has the power to see the future, right? Or see around the world. So she knows he was coming. And so, of course, he tries to win her over, right? Turns out she's a 2D loving otaku. And it's hilarious. I love it. It also helps that animation-wise, with the new studio in charge, it just looks so much better. If you're wondering, the people who are in charge is Geek Toys, the people who did the Data Bullet movies.
Okay.
And also Plunderer, but we don't talk about Plunderer. But no, there's a reason why Data Live 4 is being rated so high. It deserves it thus far. The third episode released today. I'll definitely go take a look at it after I'm done work tonight.
Okay.
But yeah, next up is the best show of the spring. Spy X Family is fucking amazing. I have no doubt. I had no doubt that Wit Studio and Cloverworks would nail this, and they have thus far. I haven't watched the third episode, but the first two episodes were essentially introducing all the main characters, right? Lloyd is fucking hilarious. He is essentially a straight man, right?
Okay.
And it's just the reactions he gives to everything make me just giggle.
There's only 2 episodes out right now of that one, right?
3. The 3rd episode was just released today.
God damn it!
I haven't watched the 3rd though. Anya, again, the show really does a good job with reactions, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Anya is just like, when she starts screwing about to get Yor to marry.
Oh yeah. Sabishi. I haven't felt a mom in forever.
Yeah, I long for a mama.
Long for a mother.
Like, it's awesome. It's funny. And then her introduction is great. The proposal with the grenade pin was hilarious.
Voice acting casting is pinpoint, man.
Oh yeah, no, it's great.
Well done.
But and it just gets even better because this episode they're gonna have the exam, and then next episode,
or it's the preparation of the exam, right? Or the interview. Sorry.
No, that's the thing that's coming next episode.
Oh, it's the interview next episode.
Yeah, and that is like, I've read this manga. I'm reading this manga, Chewy. It is. Oh, you're in for a treat.
I read it too.
It's so brilliant.
I read it too, but I thought it was the first one was. So it's the interview that's next, right?
Interview's next episode,
and then there's another exam.
No, if I remember, like, the exam happens this episode.
Yeah.
So episode 3, and then
that's preparation.
Does the exam happen? No, it's the interview first.
I thought it was preparation for interview, and so they did the interview then, and then that's it, right?
Well, it looks like episode 3 is literally just Lloyd and Yor trying to be family. So they're trying to learn how to be it, because as the premise says, the interview won't go well unless they do.
Yeah.
So the next episode is
that must be the first one then.
Yeah, so the next episode is the interview, and I'm just here's a preview picture of the next episode.
Oh yeah.
Here is one, and it's just like, inject this into my veins.
Yeah, I remember that scene from manga.
Oh, it's so good. But no, Spy X Family right now is the highest rated spring show, and deserving so. It's that good.
Yeah. It's a good
next
one.
up is Shikimori's not just a cutie.
I heard from somebody that was watching this that they like it, but they think the boyfriend's just an absolute wuss.
I mean,
like, even beyond.
No, he isn't, and anybody complaining about the boyfriend is a fucking idiot, in my opinion. The whole point of this show is, like, okay, a lot of people compare him to Rent-a-Girlfriend's main protagonist.
Really? Okay, wow.
Yeah. And Rent-a-Girlfriend's main protagonist is a fucking schmuck. Like, that's just it. He's a fucking schmuck.
Oh, sorry. No, they didn't say they were wuss. They drove them up the wall. Okay, they drove them crazy.
Okay, that's a big difference than saying a wuss, but no, there's a lot of complaints about the main protagonist being this spineless coward, and I'm sitting there just like, he's just a normal boy.
I've seen some of the meme pictures.
The thing I don't get is how people are just like, it was the same thing with Go from last season's
you're talking, yeah.
People are just like, oh, how can he be with this person when he's such a spineless wuss? And I'm just like, life works differently, right? Like, Shikimori completely cares about him.
What was the meme picture? Okay, there was one meme picture that I thought that did the comparison part. they said that, okay, in one picture they have Shikimori's boyfriend, and they say this guy's such a wussy or pussy ass bitch, and then they put the you remember the stop teasing me guy with the glasses?
No.
It's one of those stop teasing those types of teasing senpai kohai type of animes. It's the guy with the glasses in high school. Yes, Nagatoro. The guy from Nagatoro. They said the guy from Nagatoro couldn't even beat this guy up. And I was like, what? What is going on?
That's wrong, but okay, moving on. But what I want to talk about is Namaryu points this out, and like Azumi's been receiving a lot of hate, and it's a matter of taste. So like if you're annoyed by the character, that's fine, but it's just like they point out society has a certain view of relationships has been formed from a difference of subversion is met with opposition. So no, the girl can't be. Essentially, it's the idea like the man has to be the man and the woman has to be the woman.
Oh yeah.
Like Shikimori's this complete badass who's just like.
And then people are like, it's got to be equivalent that she's got to be, in a relationship with somebody with that's a badass too, right, or something, or like
well,
even
it's kind
more.
of just like, what does she see in Izumi?
Oh,
right. Like Izumi's this, he's trying, he wants to be there, but it's just like. He's just like, he's not confident. And he's giving his all, though. And it just goes to the idea, like, now I'm going to post this. Does Izumi deserve Shikimori? One might say that there are no signs of believing that, and frankly, from the current perspective of anime only, I couldn't find many reasons to justify it. However, if you think about it, it's possible that we may find the answer in his resolve. Izumi is not cool like Shikimori, nor is he capable, but he's giving his damnedest, right? And people like around him, and especially Shikimori, notice that. If the point of the series is that Shikimori is the cool one, then what does it mean to be cool? Is it through actions of a person that made others drop their jaw? Or is it the style that they're wearing which gives them such a vibe, right? Truth be told, it's how much effort you put. When you give all for something, you're cool. When you put your effort into making things work, you're cool. When you're trying to become the best version of yourself, you're cool. Cool people try, they don't give up. Societal stereotypes may bind people in their perception of relationship, but the difference in the norm are not something to be afraid of. When you put your effort into something, people will eventually take notice.
That was a review you just read, right?
No, that was Namaryu talking about the hatred towards Izumi.
Oh, okay. I see.
And trying to explain it, and it's just...
No, yeah, makes sense.
It's weird. Like, I look at relationships and say to myself, why does it matter, right? Like, they love each other. What else does it need? Does Izumi need to be this total badass who's drop kicking babies and saving them with it?
Does he need to have a foot-long penis and like have muscles the size of your fucking I don't know.
No.
Your fists?
They
I
care
don't know.
for each other.
Your head? No.
Like, they care for each other.
Gotta have
That's
pecs,
all that
man.
matters.
Gotta have pecs.
So, like, I've never understood this hatred of Izumi just because Shikimori is, like, the cool one.
I think it's just people being buttered over relationships. I don't know. Maybe they're just projecting. I don't know.
Shikimori thinks he's cool. So, like, it's kind of what you said. They're just projecting.
Maybe they're just,
So I do think it is worth it. Anyway, the final episode, the final anime.
No, let me talk about love of the world domination.
Well, let me hit Aoshi first.
Fuck you, bitch! No, let's have it as Aoshi's last.
Okay.
Because I at least watched that one.
World domination.
Let's go. Okay, so second episode. I already told you first one. They Red finally confessed to the Reaper Princess, which is known as Disumin. Did I say that? I don't know. If I did.
I don't remember half the stuff we talk about.
Okay, well, short recap. Love After World Domination is basically the blooming romance between the basically a Super Sentai team called the Freezing Squad Gelato 5, Red Gelato, the leader guy, and Ace, and the Reaper Princess of the Gecko. Oh God, is it the Gecko Society or something? It's like the evil people that they're the villains that they face off against. One of the executives. And first episode, I believe they fought each other, and then Red kind of noticed he had feelings for her, but wasn't sure if he should confess or not because, like, yeah, he's the ace and like supposed leader of the Gelato 5 who's facing off against her faction of the Gecko Society, and she's the executive to them. And then he's just like, he sat there, and then was it the professor? I think it's the mentor of like the Super Sentai team, like inadvertently pushed him towards it because he's like, you're the Red that's like always focused on training and like training his body and in his practicing just to get better to fight against Gecko Society is thinking about love, and he's just like, yes, do it, push forwards, confess to them and stuff like that. He inadvertently just makes him like go and confess to the Reaper Princess at the end of the first episode. Second episode, they go on a date for the first time. They have like days off, and Red tries to get like advice from the internet, and then inadvertently gets advice from the Yellow Ranger, who's this like I guess a little older Onesan type, and she's drunk, and then he's like asking him stuff like, hey, you know, what should I do? There's like rules and stuff, right? I need to make a plan for this date to go well. And she's like, she's drunk, and she just goes, you know what? Just do whatever you think is fun. There's no rules or anything. And he's like, okay. So he takes her to the gym, and they just like work out. They work out, and he shows up at the date with like just a tank top and like workout clothes and stuff, because like he believes that both of them like working out and things like that. And they go to a park, and then he's like, we're gonna eat, right? So here's a bunch of protein bars. Like his entire bag is just full of protein bars. Like, yes, some protein bars. And then when the girl Desumi goes, and she says she needs to go somewhere to go real quick, he gets a call from the Yellow Ranger again, and she's like, oh, sorry, yeah, about last night, kind of forget most of the stuff that I said about not having rules for a date. There definitely are some rules. And he's like, oh, what? And she's like, don't you think it's more than likely you showed up in like a black tank, or want to show up in a black tank top and stuff like that, and like workout clothes? Do not do that. At least be like semi-casual, semi-formal type of thing. And
interesting.
And more than likely the girl showed up in nice clothes, but she did Desumi showed up in nice clothes. And it's like, don't make her sweat in those nice clothes at all. No activities that include sweating. And then she's like, oh, frick, we just did like a whole bunch of exercise. And then she says like, take her up to like somewhere really decent to eat. Do not bring like a whole bunch of protein bars or something. If you at least bring homemade stuff. Like really good homemade stuff at least. And then he's like, oh. He begins to sweat and panic. But like how he might have messed it up because of all the stuff that he had done. But turns out Desumi doesn't mind. It's like, you know, it's it's a date. I'm glad you even planned out something that you like wanted to do with me or like worried about that. And honestly, I enjoyed it. And maybe I'm sure that might be weird, but like, maybe that's just who we are. And they almost kissed. But then they got called by their work, and then they fought each other, and then they're just standing there kind of flustered because they almost kissed.
Interesting.
I like this one. And then the very end of the credits, there was Decimine as a cat, and like it goes from the cat's perspective of how she notices that how Decimine is kind of changed. And that she understands it's because she's starting to date the gelato red 5. It's like, and it was super cute. I think I really enjoyed Love After World Domination. Can't wait for third episode.
All right, let's end with Aoshi.
Aoshi.
I want to like this show. I really do.
Ashi. Ashi.
Main character's atrocious right now.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I want to compare the main character to Hinata from
IQ. Sure.
So, because in my opinion, they're similar, but they're done in a different way that makes one guy enjoyable and easy to root for. The other guy I want to strangle behind a fucking bench.
Mm-hmm.
So, our main character, Aoi, right, is a football genius, right?
Mm.
He absolutely can like read the play well, but he's a selfish jackass. Well, this is where you add something. Like you read this, you've seen this.
I mean, yeah. It's like the beginning of a character, a mature middle schooler.
Hinata, selfish, wants to play right. Like Hinata, like let's look at how he began, right? He began, just a beginner, never had any experience, but you saw the potential, right? That got you easy to root for him, even though he was a bit of a dick. He was a bit selfish, right? He wanted every chance to shine. But again, because he was a beginner, he was easy to root for.
Yeah.
Aoi is not. He is nothing like that. And his selfishness comes off like they want to play his selfishness as him understanding how the team should play, right?
Okay.
Like the only reason his team in the first episode, the one where he had Zinedine Zidane somebody, right?
Okay.
The only reason it was doing well is because they understood, okay, we need to play around him, right? And he was able to move around and be there for his teammates because he's able to read the field exceptionally well, right? We saw that in the second episode, how he set up the only goal for his team.
Yeah.
I just wish he wasn't a selfish prick. Like, seriously. Everything else is great. I love watching the idea of him like, okay, these guys aren't as good, so if I go there, I can benefit this better, right? That stuff interests me. The character is so annoying. Like, I get it. It's the start of his journey, but the most important part of a show is the start. And I do not like this character at all. And, like, what I will say, Hannah, she seems fun. Tatsuya is saving this show for me. Like, he's the coach who found him on the beach.
Yeah.
Like, Tatsuya is saving this show for me right now. because he's a genuinely good character, and I like watching him get excited for what he does. Right? But I again, my main issue with this show is the main character is a terrible written character in terms of an entertainment factor.
I don't know. I feel like, sure, he's coming off kind of asshole-ish, and he's coming off kind of a little bit of a jerk, but I think that's honestly just part of the growth of Ashito.
Okay.
So I don't know.
Like, okay, so in like 18 episodes, he could actually be a tolerable character.
Yeah, and I think that's just part of the growth.
That's terrible.
I don't really mind. I think there's only really some aspects that I feel like they were trying for a lot of it, but like, again, not everyone's gonna see it that way. So again, it's quite opinionated.
He's just a selfish asshole. That's it, though. And you can say, "Oh, he gets better in the end." Well, when? Like, I'm sitting here watching it, I'm saying to myself, this is a good show that's being held back because the main character is really bad. Like, he is not fun to watch. He is not at all relatable. I don't want to root for him, which is insanely needed in a sports show. You need to be able to root for the main characters.
Yeah, perhaps that's just the low point of that one, but I don't know. I find like it's quite, I don't know, it's a little endearing that you have someone like this a little bit.
Is it?
In sports, it's a little bit to do with, you gotta have a little bit of an egocentric kind of feel. Not fully, again, of course, but like,
here's the thing. I'll go back to IQ. We had that in Kageyama.
Kageyama? Oh, Kageyama. Okay.
The King of the Court, yeah. We had that in Kageyama. But the show, with Haikyuu's case, the show was all about whittling down him. They had the main characters, Hinata. They had every other main character there, all about whittling down his ego, right? I don't feel like we're going to see that at all in this show.
Really? You haven't seen... I don't know. I feel like Otomo was quite interesting, and honestly...
Otomo isn't there to whittle down his ego, though.
Really? He calls him out most times. There, he's just like, you're just like one of all the fucking other guys at this point.
But in the second episode, Chewie, he wasn't there. He was the reason why that goal happened, because he recognized what he was doing. But that doesn't change his ego.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like this is a really long run type of sports anime, and sure, maybe the downside of it is not giving like the character anything decent enough that you connect to him. But
again, my point is this: you shouldn't have to watch a show for 50 episodes for it to turn good, right?
Maybe.
Like this argument.
I don't know about 50 episodes, but sure.
I'm using an example, right? So, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, right?
Sure.
I didn't like it. I found the combat to be boring. I found the first half to be like just not fun. And everyone's like, no, if you get to like hour 30, it'll be good. And it's just like, no, you shouldn't have a game be like that, right? I shouldn't have to play through 8 hours of bullshit just to get to the good part.
I don't know. I don't feel like Ashito's character's that bad, honestly, that you would just say, I don't really want to watch this anymore, or don't want to deal with going through the growth of it. I feel like, sure, yeah, he's a bit of a selfish person right now, but it's like, I don't see that as anything that should stop me from what's going on, or to continue watching this.
Generally making it hard for me to watch these episodes.
Okay, well, you know,
because another thing really good sports animes do is they give you someone to root for almost instantly.
Right, yeah.
Again, Haikyuu, you could root for them right away. Days, as an example, right?
Oh yeah, the main character.
Yeah, it's not great, but you could root for the characters right away.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you could root for the characters right away. You could get behind Jin. You could get behind Tsukushi. You could get behind the whole team, right? Here, Aoshi ain't somebody I want to see win. I want to see him lose.
Maybe you will.
But that's my issue. The show has not done a good job in its first couple episodes establishing Ashito as somebody I want to see go forward. Do I fully expect it to change? No. I think it will, because I trust the writing around this, because almost everything around this piece of shit has been good to great.
Yeah.
Again, I really like Tatsuo quite a bit. I have faith that Hannah's going to become a good character. And whatever teammates he has...
About that one.
And whatever teammates he has, I think, have a good chance of becoming good characters. I thought the mom and brothers interaction was interesting. It was dynamic, right?
Yeah.
It's just... Ashito's character could not be on a worse possible start for me. And I just don't think the main character of the show should be an egocentrical psychopath. Like, Kageyama's a main character of Haikyuu, but Hinata was always the focal point.
Huh?
But yeah, no, like, I think it's good. I have generally enjoyed it, but I also look at it and say to myself, it needs to be better. It needs to be healthier.
Wait, did you watch episode 3?
I haven't watched episode 3 yet.
Oh, okay.
Because it just aired today.
Okay.
So yeah, that's all the anime I've watched. That's all the anime you've watched.
I think the next episode's gonna give you a little bit. I don't know.
Well, no, like it's going to take a lot to generally change my opinion on this character. Right now, I think he is an awful personality that I don't want to root for.
Yeah.
And like, unless they find a way to show me, okay, maybe he's actually starting to understand he needs to stop being a piece of shit, then again, that's what the show needs to do for me to truly put it in. Like, yeah, this is a great spring anime.
Mm-hmm.
It's good. Production IG are amazing at sports anime. But I just want to give like a top 5 shows for the early part of the spring.
Okay.
So for me, Spy X Family is number 1. It's not even close.
Okay.
Summertime Rendering would be number 2.
Okay.
Kaguya-sama would be 3.
Okay.
Date Alive 4 is 4 for me.
Okay.
And then it's a toss-up between Komi, Skeleton Knight, or Ascendance of Bookworm. I'm going to say Komi just because it's better than Skeleton Knight. But I really enjoy Skeleton Knight.
Okay.
And in terms of bad shows, the only truly bad shows that I'm watching are probably Kyokai Senkai and Black Rock Shooter. Everything else is at least respectable.
Okay.
So it's nothing like Winter Season.
Yeah, this is filled with a lot of good stuff.
Yeah. But what about you? You want to give anything?
I mean, I didn't watch as many as you, but I did watch a decent amount still. I'd probably say...
I think you watched only 5.
Let's see. Atanisha, Spike's Family. Did watch Komi-san, Skeleton, Otome Game, Kome, Love After World Domination, Aoashi, Diamond. Nope, I watched like 8, I'm pretty sure. 8 or 7, if I counted wrong. 1, 2.
I think it's safe to say the spring season is clearly like better than the winter. It's not even close.
Oh, I watched 9. Wow, okay. Okay. Yeah, Spy X Family. Yeah, number 1. I'm really enjoying it. I've read the manga just because like I wanted to read it as a hype. But no, yeah, Spy X Family number 1. I think I could. I really only feel like I can only really give a top 3 at this point because I'm still undecided on some parts for some animes. But Arpicome, I think, is honestly in number 2 for me out of the stuff I'm watching right now. But number 3, I'm not sure what to put as.
The only reason I don't have Ya Boy Combing up higher is because I don't. Oh, it's so weird. I look at it and I keep saying to myself, this show shouldn't work.
Is that what's really hindering you from ranking it higher? Is that it just shouldn't work?
Well, let me put it to you this way. Spy X Family, I have it a 10 out of 10 right now.
Mm-hmm.
Summertime Rendering is aiming towards a 10 out of 10. Kaguya-sama, 10 out of 10. Data Live is aiming towards a 9 out of 10. And Comey is 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10.
Okay.
If I was saying, okay, if I could project, if your boy Comey continues on like this traction, right?
But then what? No, grade it right now. Then don't do the whole thing.
8.
Okay, then there you go, 8.
And like I can see it growing, but like right now it's behind Skeleton Knight, Comey, and Ascendance.
Okay.
But it's like it's so weird. Outside of Kyokai Senkai, I'm quitting Hero Ring, and Black Rock Shooter, everything I'm watching is either 7.5 or 8 above right now. Tomodachi Game is the only one that's at 7.5.
Tomodachi Game is for me is the one that's low.
But like everything else I'm looking at, saying to myself, yeah, I'm seeing like 7.5, 8. Like in terms of like the level of start.
Damn, it's not bad either. A lot of people are actually rating it pretty 7.5 as well.
Well, I mean, I've seen a lot of people talk about Virgin Road being good, and yet people really seem not to like it.
Yeah, I can see that there too. Jesus,
like,
Kingdom is being rated really high. What's going on?
Okay, if you asked me to give a rating for like the early episodes, like the first 3 episodes, first 2.
Sure.
Black Rock Shooter's a 5. Kyokai Senkei's a 6.
Youth.
Ascendance is 8.5.
Ooh.
Tomodachi's 7. Hero Wings 7. Shield Heroes is 7.5. Omi's a 9. Skeleton Knight is an 8.5.
Okay.
I forgot about Dawn of Witch. That's a 7.
Okay.
Summertime Rendering's a 10. Your Boy Combing's an 8. Galactic Heroes is a 10. Virgin Roads is 7.5. Arhen's Sun's 7.5. Science 7.5. Kaguya-sama 10. Data Live 9. Spy X Family 9. Shikimori 8. Aoshi 8.
Okay.
So like I generally think a lot of the shows I'm watching this summer are really good.
Nice.
I mean spring. So like it's nice to see that after how bad
winter was.
Yeah.
Anything's better than winter at this point.
Yeah. Anyway, next week we will be doing more LP episodes.
Yeah.
And I would like to say, when our friend is done with his schooling, we're going to be doing an in-depth talk about our life with the Smash Bros. Series.
We're also going to talk about hentai.
You want to talk about hentai again, Chewy? We already did a hentai episode.
No, we're going to do a sit around and a hentai. Watch a hentai.
You can do that on your own. This has been the latest episode of the podcast. See you guys next time. Bye.
You're no fun.